Hey, there she is.
Hi.
Hey. Hi, gorgeous. Hello, hello.
Hello, Petronella.
So nice to see you. Thank you so much.
It's,
I'm just about to tell everybody about your incredible generosity with the HBD lunch we had in September and giving everybody your amazing first pressed extra virgin olive oil organic. And it was so generous of you and
oh,
people were so pleased.
it
So
was
thank you so much for that.
such a pleasure, Petronella, to be invited and to give that out because the best way to really experience it is by tasting it firsthand.
It really is. It was a great, great
Yeah.
taste test. And you've been educating people on the fact that, we always used to think that an olive oil should be fruity. But as you pointed out, it shouldn't be fruity, it should be peppery. And that is the polyphenols, the evidence that they're there. And people describe it as sour sometimes, but I wouldn't say it was sour. I'd say, like you say, peppery, don't you?
This year in particular, I've been sort of touring England with various
Yeah.
shows and markets showcasing the olive oil firsthand. And it's just been incredible because I've been interacting with my customers and getting firsthand feedback. And what a lot of people tend to say with the early harvest, especially if they haven't tried it before, is that it can taste a bit bitter to them.
Bitter, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of bitterness, but that is definitely indeed sort of that peppery, that bitterness is because it's harvested earlier in the season. So the olives are unripened, green when they get pressed, hence it's got that distinct flavor. And that pepperiness, it's not infused with any pepper, it's 100% olive
Yeah.
pressed, but that effect at the back of the throat that you get is sort of a bit of a tingling effect is due to the high phenolic content, those good polyphenols that,
And
yeah, they're
how do you
fantastic.
check for the polyphenols? And I always wonder, does it vary a lot from year to year? Or it just depends on if the olives are the same type of olives, then it's pretty much consistent. How does it work?
So yeah, so it's never going to be exactly the same
Yeah.
polyphenol content every year, but it varies ever so slightly. And that is down to the fact of how much they've been watered, because usually the less water, the higher content of polyphenols. But it varies ever so slightly.
Because
Yeah.
polyphenols are like to do with its survival. So I suppose, I think that if the climate or the conditions are difficult, then that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That it would produce more
Absolutely.
polyphenols. Yeah.
Yes, 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 and especially in the recent years, we've seen a lot of sort of droughts in the Mediterranean and sort of higher temperatures in the summer. It's been, yeah, it's not been great for many things, but it has meant that the polyphenol content has increased because, as you said, the harsher
Yeah.
conditions mean that they become more resilient, the olives, the fruit.
And I think that we do too in harsher conditions. Us humans get more
Yeah,
resilient, don't we?
yeah, we
But that's
share that.
we really do. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, yes, and also to sort of circle back what you were saying about the sort of fruity notes that some olive oils have. I also love fruity notes and fruity flavor profiles in extra virgin olive oils, and that tends to come when they're pressed when later in the season they've matured a bit more, they've darkened a bit, and that creates a different profile, flavor profile, and it's a bit more fruity. And I love to use that as well. I love having different
Yeah,
olive oils in my
different olive.
cupboard.
Yeah, I was just thinking that of course, it's going to be more expensive to produce the early harvest extra virgin olive oil because it produces less oil, doesn't it? Because it's
That's
picked. The
correct.
olives are picked before they're ripe. So
Absolutely, yeah. So they yield less olive oil per kilogram of olives. Hence, it's in limited quantities, and also, yeah, the price point is a bit higher.
yeah, and has the harvest finished now? Is it over?
Yeah, the early harvest has finished because usually early harvest in the Mediterranean region is sort of October, early
Yeah.
November. That's when you want to sort of get them. And yeah, that has been harvested now and pressed, and it's ready to be ordered and delivered out. Whereas the later harvest is yet to sort of
Is
come.
it?
It's usually sort of, yeah, December time.
So Maria, is it on the website now? Is it available on the website?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep, it
fantastic!
is. It is.
So the
Yeah.
website, yeah.
It's always so
So
exciting to get like a freshly pressed. It's like it doesn't get fresher than that. It was literally pressed a week, 10 days ago. It's so
oh,
fresh.
that's amazing. I wish I was in London
Yeah.
to try some.
Oh
That's
my
so
goodness.
exciting.
Yeah.
But for anybody, you know, if you're anybody here who's thinking about what on earth can I get, whoever it might be, a dear friend of yours, what can I get them for Christmas? This is such a beautiful Christmas present. Not only because,
Yeah,
like Maria says, it's fresh,
mhm.
but it's so
It really is, and
comforting.
especially if they're a foodie, or like if they sort of, you know, like they're kind of getting into sort of healthy habits, healthy eating habits. It's such a lovely thing to incorporate, and you don't have to be a mega chef to get started with olive oil. You can just use it sort of as a drizzle, like drizzling your sort of like finishing off your dishes, like a finisher on a soup or pasta, or I mean, whatever it might be. Your avocado, it's delicious with avocado.
Delicious. Or would you make it into a dressing as well, like a vinaigrette?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I sometimes I sort of experiment. Like sometimes I just keep it very simple, just a little bit of sea salt and olive oil with maybe a splash of balsamic vinegar, or even simpler than that, maybe just a little bit of lemon juice.
Apple cider vinegar is our favourite on HBD.
Oh,
Sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then the other. So you wouldn't cook with that one, but you cook with the other olive oils that you have.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely cook with it as well, but it's just a bit of a shame. It's just like
Bit
there's
of
so
a
much
shame.
goodness in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because when you heat it, it does sort of, yeah, reduce the benefits a bit because the polyphenols do sort of break down a bit with the heat.
Yeah.
But that's why also they're so good because you can cook with it as well. It has a high smoke point.
Exactly. No, that's really cool. I've been doing a spot of research, and there are all sorts of polyphenols which are like plant antioxidants that extra virgin olive oil contains, which is not the same, by the way. Don't ever be tempted into getting light olive oil, because that's super refined and it's got almost none of the goodness in it that extra virgin olive oil has.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I just sometimes I like to explain what these words mean because like you know, sometimes we're not quite sure like what refined is. Refined basically means that it has been treated with heat and chemicals, which kind of break down and deteriorate the quality and the health benefits of it.
Thanks, Maria. Because a lot of people are saying, and you know, and science is certainly backing this up, that in large part the Mediterranean diet is so famously healthy because of the extra virgin olive oil. It's not necessarily because of the pulses in the fish, although of course all that's really good food, but it's the extra
Yeah,
virgin olive oil that really is the makes it the star.
yeah, it's such a staple, such a staple. I mean, I'm Greek. Both sides of my family are Greek, and I lived there. I was raised on a Greek cooking and Greek food, and it's the staple. It's always the base for all the meals, where you start with sauteing the onions and garlic on sort of a medium to low heat, and absolutely douse your salads in it and everything else. But I also like to point out that it is about balance, which I know you absolutely vouch for, and it's about a healthy, balanced lifestyle where you're incorporating all the sort of healthy food groups. Yeah.
They're really lovely. And so you really grew up with extra virgin olive oil, and I read on your blog that you can use it for washing your hair and all sorts of things. Well, soap
Yeah.
made out of it.
Yeah, it's funny because my grandma, up until 2 years ago or so, she used to make her own soaps from the olive oil. Yeah, and my grandfather, he just used to sort of wash himself in that all his life, really. So it's very, very kind to the skin. It's very nourishing. Yeah. I personally don't do it. I haven't got it, but I do love to sometimes use it for sort of, as my hair mask. Sometimes I like to use it as a body scrub. Just I mix a bit of. I personally like to mix a bit of brown sugar with the olive oil, and it's a gorgeous like scrub.
Gorgeous. No, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does get a bit messy, but it's fun. I don't know. I do it sometimes.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, I guess could you use sea salt instead of sugar if you wanted to?
I find sea salt a little bit harsh for my skin personally. Brown sugar, usually it's sort of the granules are quite good for me. But yeah, I do know that sea salt is also used.
Midlife, real life. Narelle is here, and she says, "I'm loving the early harvest. Love the spicy taste to it." And Narelle's a good cook. Yeah. No, really, really interesting. So there are these polyphenols, oleocanthal, and research shows it supports joint and muscle resilience. And this is spelt Oleuropein. And I had to look up how to pronounce it because I've never said it before. And so
Yeah.
it's olu olupurin, I think.
Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
But and there's also something, a metabolite of oleopurin, however you say it, that Dr. Stephen Gundry says is a fat burner, which I've never heard before. So that's very cool. Yes, another reason to put olive oil on our food. And yeah, so research shows it's good for, for blood pressure, for heart health, for the health of our endothelium, for joint and muscle resilience, for energy. It's been shown to be very potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer, and it has neuroprotective functions, which is pretty amazing, isn't it?
It
Really
is
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're very
Yeah.
lucky to have it. I don't know when were you first aware, Maria, that this was a kind of magical elixir in almost, well, everything probably you were eating. I guess, yeah. Were you brought
I
up in like
yeah.
countryside?
I will actually, I wasn't brought up in the countryside, but I would visit my grandparents
Yeah.
every year. And I did spend a season when I was sort of a young teenager harvesting with them. Because, yeah, as I said, both sides of my family, they're Greek and they were also olive grove farmers. So back 7 generations, both sides. It's amazing. So I guess I never really knew the sort of science behind the benefits, but I just knew that I enjoyed it and loved to sort of eat it. I eat it every day. I think I was thinking back today, I was like, I think the only time I haven't eaten it every day is when I went sort of traveling
Yeah.
in my 20s. Yeah, Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Difficult to find probably in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I don't remember having any, but I had other sort of lovely, delicious things, but yeah, not olive oil.
Yeah, no. And what was it that made you think, right, I'm going to import this amazing olive oil into the UK? Because that was very brave of you. So I don't know what you were doing before then, but I'm very glad that you did because we all
Yeah.
love it, as you know. Yeah.
I mean, what I wanted to do was to bring that authentic taste to the UK, and because what has sort of what happens sometimes is that you get a lot of olive oils, but they're adulterated, so
Yeah.
they end up sort of being blended possibly with other oils like seed oils, possibly, which is a bit sad, or just
Yeah.
a blend from sort of different regions. Sometimes you'll see the back of a label so on olive oil say product of EU.
Yeah.
So that could mean from anywhere. So what's not great about that is that you're not sure about sort of the quality of it, and if strict criteria have been met throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I import it from the region again where my family's from. I grew up on this taste, this flavor, and I sourced really high quality olive oil. And you were asking before, like how do you know something is a high quality extra virgin olive oil? And truly, there are some sort of indicators to that. Definitely the taste, the aroma. It just smells, I mean, yeah, amazing. And vibrant. And the flavor is you do get that, as I was saying, that peppery sort of aftertaste, those grassy notes. You can also get fruity notes that are high quality, but just a full fresh flavor that's not rancid. And of course, we also do have chemical reports where we have laboratory analysis of our olive oils that shows its authenticity. And
Yeah, so that's a tip. I mean, obviously, recommend that everybody get your olive oil, and by the way, we'll put that up on the grid, the name of the website, so that you can find it. But you can also find it through Maria's Instagram. So if you look up her Instagram, you should be able to see the details there. But as Maria was saying, so look for, it might not necessarily say single origin, but rather than source from the EU, at least one country. That's likely to be safer. So Spain or Greece or Italy or wherever. Yeah, no, very interesting. Because I know that lots of us are rather nervous about buying extra virgin olive oil now, because there are so many reports of, you know, fraudulent stuff being on the market that isn't really EVOO at all, which is very
and thanks for bringing that point up. It's exactly that. It's also certifications to look for. So like usually certifications will be sort of on the label. Like for instance, olive oil has PGI, which is protected geographical indication, basically meaning single origin.
Yeah.
So you can, you know, you can trace it back to the source and, you know, be feel confident that it's met strict criteria that extra virgin olive oil needs to meet. For example, a low acidity level, which are the free fatty acids. And it gets a bit technical, but essentially, like, the taste is a great way to know as well.
This is a great way, exactly. So everybody, fruity is okay, but what you really want for the health benefits is peppery or spicy. That's I think that's pretty much.
If you are looking for the polyphenol, which are the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant.
They're really good. So you've had a great year touring around and meeting your customers. It's fun, really, really good. And are you done now for the year?
I am done, actually. I am for now. So I think next year possibly I want to sort of explore the online space a bit more and just reach more people where I can speak about this and maybe educate or and thanks to you I opened an Instagram account thanks to you, so thank you for that.
Pleasure. Well, I only got going on Instagram because my friend Donna Ida, and she said come on, you know, and she dragged me into it, so I felt I was like passing the baton, really. So anyway, well done. Welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
And your community is so amazing. It's just amazing to see what you can grow online. It's brilliant. And meeting some of your community at the launch was also amazing. I had some chats, and it was so good to be there.
No, it was really fun. Well, I hope we'll do another one, but we won't expect you to be quite so generous next time, because that was really, you know, going above and beyond, giving everybody a full-size bottle, but it was so appreciated. We were all so grateful. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy for that.
HBDG says, what a wonderful way to spend your summers harvesting olives with your grandparents. That's so sweet.
Well, actually, it's not the summers. The harvest season in the Mediterranean is sort of autumn, winter. So it can, but I did used to spend summers, every year. I still do, actually. I still try to go every year.
Were you there this year?
Yes,
really.
My dose of sunshine.
So important. No, that's so kind of you, Maria. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the magic of extra virgin olive oil? Anything on tip of your tongue, or because the health benefits are extraordinary, and you know the health benefits of not all foods with health benefits taste as amazing as EVOO, so we're very lucky.
You're right, actually. At least for me, I really love it. I know I remember you had mentioned that, you know, if you're not sort of very accustomed to the taste of early harvest olive oil, it's a bit like dark chocolate at first. When you have dark chocolate, and it's a bit bitter, and you're not quite used to it, and it's just about working your way up, and then before you know it, you're just craving it.
It's true, isn't it? It really is true. And thanks for reminding me. I wrote about that in a blog which is on the website, so thehumanbeingdiet.com, all about the magic and wonder of EVOO. So do have a look at that if you haven't already. And I also wanted to tell you that there's a very exciting HBD club which we're hoping to launch in January. And so do sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss out on announcements about that. And again, that is thehumanbeingdiet.com. So make sure that you're signed up to get the news. And just about newsletters, I know, as usual, it seems I haven't been very active on there. I'm definitely not one of those people you see popping into your inbox, you know, with alarming regularity and thinking, oh, for goodness sake, and deleting whatever I've sent because I'm sending too much stuff. But I think I've gone slightly the other way. But that is one of my resolutions. And I think I've probably said that before as well, to be more engaged via the website, via the newsletters from next year. So do look out for that club as well. And Maria, thank you again so very much. It's been an absolute treat talking to you, and very
Yeah.
lovely to meet you as well.
Same, Petronella. I was actually just thinking one last sort of thing I wanted to add is, I was sort of, the culture kind of tells women to stay away from fats, which I've come to know now in my sort of adult life that it's really not the case. Healthy fats, at least, and extra virgin olive oils, like has the healthy monounsaturated fats that actually help help you feel fuller for longer. So it has that satiating effect, and I think that possibly also helps with weight loss as well, long term.
Definitely, that's a really, really good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Narelle Midlife Real Life's just reminding everybody to keep it in the dark. Keep it in a cupboard in the dark. It doesn't matter so much with Maria's because they're in glass bottles, but still, the least air and heat you expose it to, the longer it's going to last you. So that's really
correct. So cool, dry cupboard, sort of away from the hob and your oven, and preferably in the dark as well.
Preferably in the dark as well. Fantastic.
Just keeps it fresher for longer. That's it. That's pretty much what it is, because oxygen and sunlight can start to deteriorate it over time.
Thank you. And there's a question here, or a comment from Rachel Meadows, which is quite interesting. Is where your family comes from in Greece, is it volcanic?
It's not volcanic, but we do have sort of dry weather, which helps with the high polyphenol content. I have heard a lot of people ask me actually that whether sort of volcanic regions, mean a high content of polyphenols. And actually, I think the best thing is to sort of, to look at the chemical analysis and to look at the overall polyphenol content which we provide, and that way you'll know exactly what you're getting, because you can never really know. It's not sort of,
So Rachel, I hope that helped to answer your question. So no, it doesn't need to come from volcanic soil.
Mm-hmm.
It needs a certain amount of dryness, and it needs a lot of sun, but not necessarily a volcano next door. Just seeing if there are any more questions or comments here. It was an amazing gesture. That's Sunwater Beaches saying thank you, Maria, for the early harvest olive oil at our lunch in September.
Oh,
it really was.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
So generous. I think that's about it, unless anybody's got any more questions. Well, you've got the lovely Maria here, because this is your chance to ask her anything you like about extra virgin olive oil. Reset Debbie HBD, going to order some now. Good. So thank you, Gigi, that's very sweet of you, my darling. So the website is, shall I spell it? It's St Nicholas Nicholas, and then Monemvasia, but it will be on the grid, so don't worry. But do order it for Christmas presents for the people you love, and it won't be around forever. And it's just in, so this is the freshest early harvest olive oil you are ever going to taste, and it is incredible. And as Maria was saying, you can cook with it, but it's a bit of a waste because the flavour is so intense and so amazing. So don't cook with that, but do cook with some of the other ones that are on Maria's website, and save the early harvest oil for drizzling over your salads, putting into your dressings, putting over a bit of avocado with some sea salt. I like the sound of your breakfast, even though there's no protein in it, delicious. Maria tends to have avocado toast most days and gets a lot of people recipes.
Yeah.
So, thank you again so much for joining, Maria. And thank you.
Absolute pleasure, Petronella.
Thank you. And wishing you a very Merry Christmas, because we probably won't see each other before then.
Yes, I know. Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope everyone has a fabulous holiday season.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Maria. Bless you. Thank you.
Bye.